go live and hang out for a minute while I'm driving. Don't worry, I'll keep my eyes on the road. Wait for some people to sign in here for a minute. If it even happens. I'm already on the highway though. Haha, comma. Same price for that one. What's up? Let me know if you guys can hear me. This is my first mobile stream, so I'm not sure how well it's working. I got 3 people in here now. What's going on, guys? I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. I don't know what's going on. Whoa, we got a cool filter. That's what's going on. Don't worry, I'm watching the road. 7 people, what's up? What's up, Bucky? Don't crash. I've never crashed in my life, good man. I did, however, have a giant piece of ice fall and smash my other car. So that one's out of commission for 2 weeks. But yeah, we are driving. We got about an hour trip to Ashtabula, Ohio. I'm picking up a Marshall Tsl100. Watch out for ice. Yeah, I don't think I have to worry about that right now. We'll see though. But anyways, I'm picking up a Marshall Tsl100. I had one before. I actually thought it was a really good amp. Getting a decent deal on it. My man Brian actually made me privy to the deal. So meeting the guy halfway to Cleveland, and gonna pick it up and do a shootout with the JCM 2000, maybe the JVM 410 too. I don't know, whatever you guys want to see the amp shot out against. And then whenever I'm done with it, I'm gonna put it in my boy Brian's hands and he can have fun with it. So I'm always hunting for deals on new amps. Also, today, sitting on my porch right now, I bought a Soldano Avenger 100. I know it's not as exciting as a SLO 100, but it'll be my first Soldano. I got a good deal on it, and really been curious how the Avenger sounds. Figure I'll do a couple videos with that, put it up against like the JMP 2203, whatever you guys want to hear. I really wish I could get this filter thing to go away. You're building a JMP as we speak. How about that? Bucky, when are you gonna let me borrow that Victory Kraken 100? That's a real question. I'm trying to get my hands on that Kraken. Woo! Yeah, that's a long drive, man. Especially in the UK, 400 miles, wow. That's a long drive. Hope it was worth it. Bucky, what's the, what kit are you building the JMP out of? Is it a Seriatone or a Chariotone? Curious about that. I definitely don't have the time or patience to put one of those amps together, but Mike Wagner, my amp tech, has definitely talked to me about it before. that's something I've always been really interested in. So Mike was actually nice enough at one point to offer to let me sit in on repairs of some of my old JCM 800s. Hey, speak of the devil, there he is. What's up, Mike? Yeah, so as I was saying, I was just talking about you, Mike. You were actually nice enough to let me sit in on a couple repairs that you did to my amps because I expressed that I was interested in learning how to fix these things myself. And Mike was more than willing to let me over to his house to show me how he did everything. And it was a really cool experience, but unfortunately, I just realized, thinking about it, I'm like, man, I'm never gonna have the time to really dive into this stuff, unfortunately. As much as I love it, hats off to the bull. I would take my hat off, but I'm bald. I haven't shaved my head in a while. It doesn't look good. But yeah, that was really cool of Mike to take me under his wing like that, even if it was just for that one time. Super good guy. Also great tech, like I said. His link for his page is down in the comment section of all my videos now, or the description, I mean. So if you guys ever have any questions for him, be sure to like his page and hit him up on Facebook. He's a great resource to have on your side for sure. He's probably fixed, I think we're probably around the 50 amp mark in the last 5 years or so, right, Mark? Or Mike? Probably like 50 different amps. It's crazy. 6505 plus mods. No, actually, Mike, you can probably speak to that. I think the only thing that Mike has done for me on a 6505 plus is the bias mod. I think that's it. I think he's repaired a couple 6505s for me, but usually when I buy an amp just for repair, I don't have him modify anything on it so I can sell it as stock. Just because I've noticed that people seem to be weird about buying modded amps, for sure. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not a Chevelle fan. One of my best friends is, though. I don't dislike him, I just don't listen to him, so I don't know that song. Sorry, man. But yeah, usually when I buy broken amps for the purpose of having Mike fix them and flip them, I don't have any mods done. I have an FJA metal modded 5150 block letter. Yeah, I've heard of that one, actually. I'm curious to do that as well. I think that would be a cool mod to have on the one. I would like to have the green channel modified on the 6505 that I just got, so I could have a different voicing on that one that I think I could use a little bit more. But I have heard of people modifying them to have two different voicings on them, which is pretty cool, in my opinion. You installed a bias circuit? Yep. And I've had a half dozen of those come. Yeah, you've probably had at least 3 or 4 from me, and I know you've had a couple from others. Yeah, Tone Wars is cool, man. I check, I forget, what's his name? I know who you're talking about, but yeah, I've watched the Tone Wars channel pretty often. He definitely gets some cool amps on there. He's got a cool format too. Not anyone else is really doing live streams and comparing amps in real time. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Steve, I have 4 cabs full of K100s actually. It's my favorite speaker. I don't think it slays the V30 by any means, but I think it's an awesome speaker. I've got a couple cabs that actually have the K100 and the V30 together. Yeah, Jared, that's his name. You're right. But yeah, I've been a fan of the K100 for a long time. I have 2 Mode 4 MF400s at my practice space that have the K100s, and then I have 2 of the old PV Butcher cabs in it, or that have the K85s in them, which are basically the same thing. They're just the old, they used to be called the G12 K85. They changed the name to the G12 K100. They sound the same. They're the same speakers. So I wish I could figure out how to get this live chat to stay. This is annoying. Building an MT2 clone for Derek. Nice. Awesome. I'd like to get the plus and non-plus. Yeah, I think that's a really cool mod too, because then you get the best of both amps in one amp. You don't even have to own both of them. Austin, I'm driving about 50 minutes each way, so not too far. It's not that bad. Just a short highway trip. I get a couple videos out of it, and I get to hook one of my friends up with an amp that they want that they couldn't travel to get, so it kind of works out all around. Hopefully nothing's wrong with it, though. Just ordered 2 diesel, 212. Yeah, dude. Diesel cabs are awesome, man. You'll have to let me... Are they the front-loaded ones or the rear-loaded? Bradley. I have only played it briefly. I think it's awesome. One of the guys at my local shop, World of Music, in Erie, had the Synergy power amp, and he had a couple of the modules. He had the Morgan module, which I'm not even a clean guy, and I thought that Morgan module sounded phenomenal. That sounded great. He had the Friedman BE module, which honestly I felt like was kind of uninspiring, but then again, you guys know me, I'm not the biggest Friedman fan in the world. I don't think the amps are bad by any means, they're just not my style. But he had the SLO module. Dude, the SLO module on the Synergy stuff is where it's at. That SLO module sounds killer. It made me want to get that. It made me want to get it, like straight up. I haven't yet, because I'm cheap. But yeah, I would love to get some of the Synergy stuff in for sure. Channel popping issue with one of them. Yeah, that's a common issue too, isn't it, Mike? From what I'm aware, or from what I've heard, I believe the channel popping issue is kind of common. I don't know if it depends on where they were made, if it's the Chinese ones or not, but yeah. I think I found out about Mike through a friend, because I sold him a 5150, and the day that I went to sell him, this was like 6 years ago, the day I went to sell the 5150 to him, I turned it on and it sparked. It literally sparked out of the power tube sockets. Like I've never seen that happen before. So I took it to him, or I took it to the friend who knew Mike, and that's how I got hooked up with Mike. So that's been a really, really positive relationship for both Mike and myself, because Mike now got hooked up with World of Music through me and does a ton of work for them, and I've also brought a lot of business his way, and he also fixes tons of amps for me, and it seems like he really enjoys what he does. So glad that all worked out the way that it did. That's awesome. And again, I hope that you guys get some value out of Mike's page too. Like I said, he's super knowledgeable. Anytime I ask him a question, he can either answer it or he can look up what he needs to look up and he can answer it. So, but yeah, anyways, yeah. Mike, this Tsl100 apparently has a slight hum to it, according to the owner. So I'm thinking maybe it's a power tube mismatch or something. If it's real bad, I might bring it to you. Brian wants to get it off me after I'm done with it, so really, ultimately, it's going to be up to him. As long as the rest of the amp checks out, I may not bring it to you. But, yeah, I had a Tsl100 last year, and it had a Mercury magnetics transformer in it. It actually sounded really good. And when I bought my car at the middle of last year, I just sold off a ton of stuff that I wasn't using, and the TSL was one of them. But I kind of regretted it. So it'll be cool to have one back for a little bit and do a video stacking it up against my JCM 2000 DSL, which you guys know I love. I did a video on the DSL, I think last week sometime. I really think that those amps don't get enough credit. I think they're really great for the high gain crowd, honestly. I know one of the reasons that people didn't love them all that much is because they're a little thinner than like the 800, but that makes them great for just tight, chuggy metal. So you guys know that's what I do. Not gonna sell the Black Explorer, sorry, Bucky. That 2004 Les Paul Standard's still for sale though, man. Maybe we can work something out on that, huh? KSR stuff. I actually have not tried anything, but truck driver Sean let me borrow the Eros pedal, so I'm going to be doing a video on that this week. KSR is one of the brands that I mentioned earlier this year I want to get on my channel badly. I would love to get like pretty much any of their amps. The Orthos 2, I was trying to buy one on Reverb, but the guy was kind of a ding-dong about it. Like, we were working out a deal and he basically couldn't do math. And, you know, even though the deal was in his favor, he wanted to do it a certain way that just didn't make sense. And I'm like, you know what, never mind, man. So anyways, I'm trying to land a KSR amp. Really, something exciting that I haven't had a chance to mention yet. I was talking to Derek at Rev, and Derek said that I mentioned it. Well, he was talking to me about, I got a BE100 in from Guitar Center and the head shell got cracked because they packed it poorly. And he just randomly messaged me and got to, you know, talking about it, because apparently that happened to one of his BE100s too. I didn't even realize that he worked with Rev. He was one of the main guys at Rev. So I mentioned that I was looking at getting a Rev Mark II 100P from somebody on Reverb, Bradley, who's actually one of my subscribers. And actually, I just remembered I need to reply to Bradley. But he's like, hey man, if you want to do some demos for your channel, we'll send you a Mark III. So they're looking at sending me a Mark III generator. I think it's the 100P that they're talking about. So I can do some shootouts with like the Badlander and the Badlander, the 5150 Stealth, and Mr. Jason Howell is gonna let me borrow the Omega Granifier again, so I can shoot it out against the Granifier. So if Rev sends me that, I'm gonna make like at least 4 or 5 videos on that thing, and you guys can really get a feel of how it sounds versus, you know, some of the other top amps on the market right now. I think that would be really awesome, truthfully. How do I get this chat back here? There we go. All right, so what's my favorite not Marshall 5150 sound? Well, Tsl100, that's a Marshall sound essentially. I'm trying to think. That's a good question, man. Unfortunately, probably in the boutique market, my Tsl Herbert. I have a Tsl Herbert that I love. It's the Mark I. That amp sounds incredible. I'm really starting to take a liking to the multi-watt dual rectifier after not liking rectifiers for years. I've been enjoying playing that amp lately. But pretty much everything else I own is either 5150 or Marshall related in one way or another, whether it be a Tsl100 or a Friedman. Oh, I'm an idiot. Sorry guys. VHT. VHT Pitbull for sure. VHT Pitbull and Deliverance. I have a Pitbull and a Deliverance, and I love those amps. They are kind of in the Marshall camp, but not really. They have their own thing going on. Super dry, super percussive, lots of clarity. They sound really, really mean. So yeah, the VHT stuff for sure for me. So with all the heads, any thoughts on getting an amp switcher for YouTube demos? Well, I have one. I have the two-way amp switcher for my comparisons, my shootout videos. I've thought about getting one of the KHE audio ones for like 4 heads and 2 cabs, but right now I gotta figure out how I would do that. I have such a limited time to shoot and edit my videos that incorporating more than 2 amps at a time would probably bog me down quite a bit, and I don't see a whole lot of benefit coming from it. So depends on how the channel grows in the future, and if I can figure out a way to make it useful for the channel. I'm definitely not opposed to it by any means, for sure. Do I recommend JVM 410H? Just thinking, if you can get one for a good price, man. I have one. I think they sound good, but it's not my favorite amp. It's very, very compressed, and very gainy. There are some mods that you can do to open the amp up and reduce the gain and make it a little bit more usable, but even on the OD1 setting, the amp is really compressed, really gained out. So I personally, if I had to choose, I would choose a JCM 2000 over the 410H. But if you're a guy that likes all the versatility that the 410H offers, because there's a ton, and it's all programmable by foot switch, you know, by all means, that may be the amp for you. But if you're just looking for a single high gain sound, or a high gain sound that has like a lead or something in it, I would still choose the JCM 2000. They're half the price and they sound better in my opinion. That's just me. Rev video like that would be great for comparison. Not many. Yeah, man, for sure. Oh, hey, Bradley. Yeah, sorry. It all depends, man. I want to buy your Rev, but if Rev is going to send me a Mark III to demo, then it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to get that one off you, because I was just going to buy it, make some videos with it, and probably sell it when I was done anyway, so I apologize, man. You know, if it's still up in a little while, I might buy it. If I love the Mark III, I might, you know, try to get the Mark II off of you, because I'm probably not going to want to spring that much for a Mark III anytime soon. That's just how I am. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. And yeah, I'm definitely going to get some VHT stuff up on the channel, because the VHT stuff, I know John Brown did a Pitbull demo recently, which is awesome. There needs to be way more VHT videos on YouTube, man, for sure. Way more. And yes, I am, sorry, man, Luke, I'm definitely going to do an Archon versus Badlander video. I'm going to do an Archon versus the EVH Stealth 50 video. And then any other amps that you guys want to see me shoot the Archon out against, I definitely will. If you want to see me shoot it out against the multi-watt, I'll do that. Like I said, I make these videos based on what you guys want to see. I wasn't planning on doing a PV Invective video anytime soon, but people kept requesting that I do the Invective, so I did it. I did it this weekend. I was hoping to edit it tonight, but I'm not sure that I'm going to have time to edit it tonight, unfortunately. But we'll see. If I don't get it up tonight, it'll be up tomorrow for sure. But again, this channel is 100% based around what you guys want to see from me. So that's it. I'd love to get an MT. Oh, do you guys want to see a video of the Archon 50 versus the MT15? Because I have an MT15 as well. I thought that would be a good video to do, because people always wonder how those two stack up. I just got the Archon 100 the other day. I was going to do a shootout between the 50 and the Archon 100 to see if they are indeed the same or if they're different. No, I've never tried any of the H&K stuff, really. I think I tried the Grandmeister, or the, whatever the 18 watt one was, the little 18 watt H&K. I thought that sounded really bad. Sounded very digital to me, to my ears. The distortion seemed very solid state, and I wasn't super into it. Tubemeister, okay, yeah. Mike for the win there. Okay, yeah, the 18 watt Tubemeister. Tried it, didn't like it at all. However, I'm not opposed to getting that stuff on my channel. Donkeys and Demos, Jeremy Vareo, I think that's how you pronounce it, has been talking about his H&K Duotone a lot lately. And I would be really interested in getting the Duotone on my channel, because he raves about it and they're fairly cheap, so I'd like to do that. Fan of Randall, Engel, or Wagner? I want to be a fan of Randall. Haven't liked any of their amps that I've owned so far, unfortunately. I do like their cabs, though. The old XL cabs are really great. Engel, I like the Fireball 100. Haven't really played any other Engels that I've liked. I had a Retro Tube 100. I had a Power Ball, and I had an Iron Ball, and I really wasn't a fan of those three. Jason Howell also had, again, it wasn't my favorite, so yeah, that's that. Oh, Jason has a Savage 60. He just got it. He's gonna let me borrow the Savage 60, so I'm gonna do a video demo on the Savage 60 sometime in the near future. Wagner. Wagner's weird with me, man. I don't really like Wagner amps that much. I have 4 Wagners right now. I've got a Wagner Helios Eclipse. I've got a Wagner Shiva 20th anniversary. I have an Uberschall Rev Blue, and I have an Uberschall very early Rev Green. I'm gonna do some videos with the Uberschalls soon. A couple people have requested that I do some videos with the Wagner Helios Eclipse, so I'll probably do some videos with that thing. Especially a lot of people want to know how it sounds versus the BE100 because they get compared pretty often. So I'm going to compare it against my BE100, probably compare it against the Tsl100. So you guys will definitely see some Wagner stuff on the channel in the near future. Luke, I have not had any speaker questions for Fackin' Friday, so if you want to leave me one, by all means, drop it on last week's video. But yeah, so the Wagner stuff will definitely be making an appearance soon. Somebody else actually asked that I do a Wagner Rev Green video sometime in the near future, so I'll definitely do one on the Rev Green. I'm not a huge Uberschall fan. I know that a lot of people love those amps, and you know they're regarded very highly. They just don't do it for me. But you guys know that I'm not into the huge wall of sound tone as much as I am into the very tight percussive articulate tone. And the Uberschall, unless you really try to shape it with pedals, it's a wall of sound for sure. Yeah, you'll definitely get some Uberschall vids out of me, man. No questions there. I will, by all means, demo amps that I don't love, just so you guys can get an impression of how they sound, because that's what I'm doing it for. So while they're in my hands here, before I sell them, I'll definitely get some videos up, man. Yeah, the Helios Bucky is dope. I really like that amp. I bought it to flip it because I got it when they were brand new. Got a great deal on it, and I ended up keeping it. At the beginning of the year, I posted it for sale, and nobody hit me up for it. But in the last like 2 months, I've had literally like 4 guys offer to hit me up. Mike, what are you sorry about? I don't know what you're sorry about, man. It's all good. Whatever it is. So yeah, I couldn't get that Helios to sell for anything. And then all of a sudden, when I finally, in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep it. It's a good amp. I just didn't want to have that much money into it, but whatever. Then all of a sudden, people started hitting me up, and they're like, hey, man, let me get that off you. I'm just like, well, now I don't want to sell it. So even if I do sell it, I'll make a few videos with it before I get rid of it. But it's a killer modded Marshall tone, for sure. It's very raw. Most of the Wagner stuff is a little darker, a little chewier, a little not super tight on the low end, and the Helios is all of that. It's really rad. Yeah, I'll check your stuff out, Steve, man. I'm always down to hear people's stuff for sure. Shoot me a link or drop a link in the comments of this video, because I'm probably just going to post it up for viewing anyways. If you lived in the States, I'm sure I'd be buying shit. Yeah, probably, man. I'm constantly selling stuff. I buy and sell gear so much, dude. It's ridiculous. It's a good and bad habit, you know. Swap for the Kraken. Yeah, I could probably do that, Bucky. I'd be down with that. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man. Mark Resistance. Are you not without Resistance? Is that who you are? You buddies with Derek? If so, I remember seeing you guys like 8 million times at Forward Hall like 10, 15 years ago. I don't have any Mark Series amps, Brad. I used to have a Mark IV. I sold it because I didn't like it. I really wanted to, but it just never worked for me. But yeah, I would really like, that's awesome, Mark. That's cool. Yeah, I remember seeing you guys. I think a couple of my bands have played with you. I'm still in Represent, used to be in Domestic War for a long time. I'm sure we probably played together at least one point in Erie. But yeah, the Mark Series, Bradley, I never really loved it. Could be just that I haven't gotten enough time to really figure them out. I know they're a very tricky amp to dial in. Usually I'm very good with that stuff and very patient, and I can make most amps work for me, at least to get to a point where I'm like decent with it. But the Mark IV that I owned, and I borrowed a Mark V off Derek Verici, I just could never quite get them where I wanted them to be. So that's all. I mean, I don't hate them. I know other people make them sound amazing. Just like the rectifiers, I always, you know, everybody can make the rectifier sound amazing, but I never was really able to do it until I got my multi-watt. So I'm taking you guys off the stand here because I'm actually pretty close to meeting this guy. Sorry, fellas, you still there? I was trying to text the guy that I'm meeting here. I had to tell him what car I was in, but I'm here at the spot. I'm just going to keep the stream running while I do the deal real quick. And I'll show you guys the amp real quick after I get it and then head home. But I'm still here, trying to find your chat. I really want to get a Mark series on here for sure, though. A lot of people have been asking me for the Mark IV. Yeah, I have an MXR 10 band. I will be doing a video on that. Basically just putting a 10 band EQ in the loop and messing around with it and showing how much you can alter the tone by putting an EQ in the loop. I generally just don't do it just because it's more cables to hook up. I don't have anything in my loop in my live rig, so I try not to complicate my pedal board for live stuff because it's more stuff to hook up, and I usually hook something up wrong once a show anyways. So simple is better for me. But there are a couple amps that, yeah, definitely benefit from a 10 band EQ in the loop. So I'm not opposed to it by any means. I just try to stick with amps that I don't need to do that in order to get a good tone, or not a good tone, but a tone that I personally like. You know what I mean? Good is always subjective, so I try not to use that term if I can help it. Mark V definitely has some great tones. Found it. Yeah, see, that's the thing, man, is it's really easy to basically go overboard with EQ tweaking on amps that have tons of features like that. So that's just me, though. I'm ADD. I'll literally dial in a tone I like and then start messing with it, and then boop. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. And I just spend way too much time dicking around with EQ controls instead of playing the amp. You know what I mean? So I actually, the first pit bull that I had, the first VHT pit bull I owned was a pit bull 100 CL with the EQ on it. And I actually ended up selling it because I messed with the EQ too much. I eventually just turned the EQ off. So my buddy Travis from Eternal Sleep, which if you guys haven't checked out Eternal Sleep, you need to do that. Eternal Sleep's dope. Great hardcore band from Pittsburgh. They've got like the HM2 tone going on, but they're very groove related, so it's pretty cool stuff. Anyways, I ended up trading it to him for a JCM 2000, a PV Butcher, and a little cash. And he still has the amp and he loves it. And I got, you know, my money's worth out of it and picked up a CL50. So yeah, dude, I've missed out on a couple Sig X's a couple times for like $800 on Guitar Center's website. And every time it happens, I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. They're so hard to find. The Sig X is really tough to find. If I find one for a good price, I'll grab it for sure. I've always wanted one. I love Fryette stuff, VHT stuff. I had an Ultra Lead, a really early Ultra Lead, and I also had a 100, which was like the first year of the Ultra Lead before it was the Ultra Lead, that I sold to David Ross, who's actually one of my friends and one of the subscribers on the channel. And he loves it, so I'm happy for him. But I was good with just my I'm good with just my CL50, that little 50 watt with no EQ. Everybody on the internet's like, you got to get the one with the EQ or it sucks. Nah, man, no. Like, if you want it, sure, by all means. If that's what you want, sure. But the amp sounds amazing with or without the EQ, 100%. I never had any problems dialing it in without the additional, I think it's a 7-band EQ that's on those. No issues whatsoever, seriously. So I'm not quite sure why people say that, or if it's just another one of those like internet lore things where, you know, this rev is better than that rev, and then turns out they're the same thing or something like that. I try not to get too wrapped up in that stuff. I think it's silly, and I just try to judge everything based on its own merit when I play it for myself. But that's a whole different speech to go off on. Yeah, I have two ESPs. I've got, well, technically one's an ESP Eclipse 2, and it's a white one, and I think it's like a 2007. And I have an E2, which is still ESP, just after they rebranded as E2, which I'm not a huge fan of the logo or anything, but they're still the same guitars. They feel, what's great about ESP, every single Eclipse I've had, and I've had probably 10 of them, feels exactly the same. It's so funny, but they literally feel exactly the same. They are the most consistent guitars I've ever tried. It's awesome. Truly, I can't believe that that's how it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're definitely fine. They're the same guitars. There's no issue with the manufacture of them. I just don't like the logo as much. I like the ESP up there. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not like a snobby guy. I'm not a brand whore or anything like that. I just preferred the look of the ESP logo is all. But yeah, they're awesome guitars. I hate that almost all of them come with EMGs. It drives me nuts just because I'm not an EMG fan. So both of mine still have EMGs in them. I got to rip them out. I would really love to put something cool in there. I've been talking to Voodoo Custom Pickups. He sent me one of the Alchemist pickups that you guys have seen on a couple videos recently. And dude, that thing blew me away. Like seriously, I've put it up against a couple other guitars that I really, really like. And still, like, that pickup sounds phenomenal. I pulled out my Silverburst Custom with a full shred, which is one of my favorite Duncan pickups in it, and played it right after playing the Explorer that has the Voodoo in it, and I was like, the Explorer sounds better right now, so this isn't as fun as it usually is. But yeah, you'll never find me, guys, pushing a brand or a product that I don't believe in. That pickup won me over like that. So seriously, check out Voodoo Custom Pickups. That Alchemist was, I'm picky about pickups, and that thing is awesome. That thing's really good. That's the Angry Tones Greg Campbell signature pickup. So check that out. And Voodoo and I are also talking about doing a signature pickup for myself based on what I want, which is insane because I literally just started this channel not that long ago. And, you know, to be hooked up with somebody already who wants to work with me, that's awesome. So Rich is a great guy for that. We've already discussed designs and stuff, so he's going to get on that at some point here this year. And I'm really looking forward to what comes out of it, because to have a signature pickup is, you know, that's like a dream come true, man. To have any piece of gear with your name on it, it's not the goal, but it's a goal for sure. It's, especially when you're a gear nerd like I am. But all right, let's see what we got here. Wasn't 24 volt mod. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I've done the 18 volt mod and it helped. I also removed the tone pot in all my EMG loaded guitars because I feel like the tone pot removes too many high frequencies for me. So once I do that, the 18 volt mod and the tone pot, it's pretty good. And it all depends on the guitar. People say you can stick EMGs in anything and it'll sound the same. I say that is absolutely false. I don't care if they have a battery powered preamp in them that kind of predetermines the sound. Dude, I've had so many guitars with EMG 81s in them, and yeah, the pickup has a signature sound, but so does a JB. So does a Duncan JB. Some guitars they work really well in. Some guitars they don't work very well in. I have a Schecter C1 Diamond series that actually has the EMG 81 in it, and it sounds awesome. Like, I was like, oh, I gotta swap the EMGs out, and here I am. I still have the EMGs in it, and I think it sounds great. That guitar is for sale, by the way, guys. If you guys want to buy it, it's a killer guitar. But I just bought a Soldano Avenger. I bought a Tsl100 Nitro today. I bought an EVH LBX lunchbox head, and I'm getting this TSL today. So I need to move some guitars to make way for amps. So just saying, gonna have some guitars for sale soon. Have I played the Baron? No, Bucky, I haven't. It's on my list though. A lot of people tell me to try it. I never wanted to because I'm not a doom or stoner rock guy. I know it's the War Pig because of Black Sabbath. I don't usually like super high output pickups, but people tell me it's a lot tighter and clearer than the specs would kind of leave you to believe. So I'm definitely going to try one in the near future. ESP Horizon. Yeah, USA ESPs are on my radar too. They're a lot of money. They typically are as much as my custom shop Gibsons, and it's hard for me to spend that much money unless it's like a dream guitar of mine. So that's awesome that you have one though, man. Congrats. That's a dream guitar, a USA ESP. I'm sure that thing's sick, man. So I would like to at least get my hands on one at one point. I've never even played one. Maybe that would win me over, who knows? But yeah, I mean, ESP makes nothing but quality stuff. The LTD stuff, most of it is really good. I've definitely had some ones that sucked, but their quality control seems to be a little better as of lately. Yeah, 20 volt. Yeah, I understand. A lot of people, the reason I never did the 24 volt mod is from what I read online, most people said that you can't hear the difference between the 18 and 24 volt. But, you know, again, I've never tried it for myself, so I can't confirm or deny. Maybe it's something I'll try here in the future. Let me know how they are, Bucky, or just let me borrow the guitar, you know, that'd be cool. Once in a lifetime spent for me. Yeah, so am I, man. So am I. I hear you. Spending guitars are literally the only thing I spend my money on. I'm not even kidding. And I flip, you know, I flip gear for profit. I've told you guys that. Some people may not like me for that, but it is what it is. It's a way to make money and get more gear, and plus it allows me to have this stuff for the channel. But yeah, I'm a 9 to 5 guy too, man. I put my time in every single week, 8 to 5 actually, and you know, some days I'm just like, dude, kill me. And then some days it's not so bad. So it all depends on the job. But that's part of it if you're not a real working musician, which very few working musicians make money anymore anyways. So, yeah, music's a passion for most people and a hobby. It doesn't get to be reality. Why do I sound so depressing all of a sudden? Let's talk about gear. ESP Aero fan. Yes, dude. Do you guys see the Arctic Series LTDs? Pretty sure I'm gonna buy the white one at some point with the Fishman Fluence in it. Single white LTD Aero with a Fishman Fluence Modern in it. That sounds pretty dope to me. My beef with that is, why is it $900 when the, you know, one of the pickups and the electronics are missing? Like that should be knocked down $100 easily. That should be a $800 guitar, no doubt. Yeah, Bucky, trust me, I get it, man. It's stupid. eBay comes with the batteries. It's like $12. See, I used to make my own, Steve, but I'll take a look at it. I still have some of the old battery terminals from when I used to do 18 volt mods on my EMG guitars from like 8-9 years ago. If I can find those, maybe I'll attempt it, because I have I've got those two ESPs that have the EMGs in them still, and I also have a Schecter Solo Hellraiser Extreme, which is like the full 5-piece neck through model. That one has EMGs in it, and I'm so lazy about swapping out full electronics that I just haven't done anything with it yet. I bought some Fishmans, but like an idiot, I didn't do my research, and if there's no ground wire coming from the bridge, the Fishman still won't work. So I installed them and I couldn't get them to work right, and figured out that's why. Thanks, Jose. Appreciate it, man. I try to be as real as possible. Try to be myself, you know what I mean? I don't want to put myself off as somebody that I'm not in my videos, because that's not my intent at all. I'm just a super nerdy dude who loves gear and loves hardcore and metal and loves talking to people about all that stuff. So it's what I try to go for, man. I'm a nerd. I don't try to hide that shit. Building modding pedals. Yeah, for sure, Bucky. I'm into that. I actually recently have kind of gotten on a little bit of a pedal kick. So I've got a Highwind Direwolf coming, and then I got my Deadwell. Jesus Christ, I have to do this in my videos too, where I edit out 3 different takes of me trying to say this correctly. A Deadweld Audio Duality DX. That's my favorite new pedal. I think the 24 volt mod is actually supposed to give it more headroom, Mitch, so it actually will make them sound less saturated, because the EMG preamp introduces clipping, and that's what makes them, that's one of the things that makes them sound like they're higher output than they are, is the clipping. Oh, okay. Touche. I'll look into it, Steve. You got me curious. I might grab one and pop one in an ESP and see how I like it. That could be cool, for sure. I'll have to check that out. I never really did a lot of research on it, just because I don't like EMGs that much to begin with, so I was like, whatever. Any DiMarzio pickup favorites? No. I actually talked about this on my last live stream, where I said I haven't really tried any DiMarzio pickups that have won me over. I recently bought an ESP M1 locally and sold it to Derek Verici, just because, again, I start accruing guitars and I got to get rid of them. Amps I tend to try to keep as long as there's something I can use for the channel. Guitars, I'll buy a whole bunch all at once and then I'll be like, oh shit, I bought a bunch of guitars. I need to get rid of something. So the M1 went to Derek, and that has a DiMarzio Titan in it, which I actually thought sounded really good in that guitar for like drop tune stuff. I didn't like it in standard, but when I was in drop C, it sounded pretty dope. So he's actually going to give me the pickup back out of it, and I'm going to try that. Somebody else, I think Rich from Voodoo Custom Pickups, said try the DiMarzio Dominion. He said that was a great pickup, and that one's been on my radar for a while too. So I'll probably try the Dominion. Any other suggestions you guys have? I had an Evo back in the day, but it was before I knew what the hell I was doing. So I would like to try that one again. Evo 2, yeah. I would definitely try. I'll try anything, man. It depends. I got to get it for a good enough price that when I go to sell it, I don't lose money on it in the resale. That's just how I try to keep things. And you don't see DiMarzio pickups come up that often used on Reverb or eBay. Not like Duncan's, where if you want a JB, you can go on there right now and find one at a decent price, or a distortion or something. So just got to wait for the right time, right deal. You know what I mean? The white one, Mark, is that the one you're talking about? EC1000 CTM? I do still have an EC1000 T. I think it's the CTM. It's white with gold pickups, passive pickups, that I'm actually going to be selling. It's one of the guitars that I want to get sold here soon. Yeah, Jose, I will definitely try to shoot out the real pickup, or the real Omega Granifier versus the plugin. I gotta figure out how to do that though, because plugins, when you record the audio with them, it just records your clean signal. I think my guy's here. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go buy this amp real quick and then I'll be right back. Jay, what's going on, man? All right, guys, amp is acquired. There she is. Tsl100. Tsl100, JCM 2000. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there it is. Sitting on top of the Friedman BE50 Deluxe. I'm going to put a seatbelt on him real quick, and then I'm going to hit the road. Just kidding. I'm not going to be able to make that work, so I'll just drive real carefully. All right, let's go home. I'm ready to go home. That guy was cool, super nice. Said he is the original owner of this amp, so that's pretty interesting. Said he bought it brand new in '99, or his dad bought it for him. And they were the only owners. So, pretty neat, right? Get some hand sanitizer here. Gotta be safe, right? Got about a 50-minute drive back home. You guys still alive? What did I miss? For some reason the chat isn't popping up very well. 36th anniversary PAFs. Yeah, dude. Those pickups are actually rad. I bought a Les Paul with those in it, and I really liked them. But I ended up getting rid of them and putting in, and there goes the fucking Marshall, of course. I ended up getting rid of them because I got some wolf tone Marshall heads. Whoo! If you guys are into the PAF, the hot PAF things, and you've never tried the wolf tone pickups, dude, do yourself a favor. Try them out. The wolf tone pickups are incredible. What's a reasonable price for a quick rod? That's tough, man. Their value's gone up recently. I sold one of mine for $1,200. I bought it for $1,200, but the other ones that I have, I've all bought for around $1,000 or less. What I would want to pay for one, if I didn't have one and I really wanted one, I would probably pay $1,200. But yeah, I'd say $1,200 is reasonable as long as it's in good condition, and there's nothing wrong with it. All right, see you, Bucky. Well, the only reason I'm selling the Chapman is because I bought a Soldano Avenger and a, what else did I buy? This thing. I bought a Soldano Avenger, this thing, a Tsl100 Nitro, and an EVH LBX amp, all within the span of like 4 days. So I got to move some stuff. And as cool as that Chapman is, probably not going to get any play versus my other guitars, so I'm going to try and do a quick video review on it before I move it along. It's a cool guitar. It's not bad at all. Reverb Store is yeah, I have the link up, but I haven't put anything up. I will be putting some stuff up either today or tomorrow morning. Digitech drop tune pedal. Yes, I absolutely want the drop tech pedal, or the drop tune pedal, because one of my bands plays in drop C, and I hate having guitars set up in drop C that I never play. So there's that. I definitely want to get a drop tune pedal for sure, though. I think it would actually be really handy for my videos, because I play everything in E standard or drop D, but I would like to show some drop tune tones off too. So it would be a good idea for me to get one of those. What do you guys think? Will that thing need a mod to not burn out? It is a 2001, so unfortunately, yeah, it's not past the bias drift thing yet. So I don't plan on keeping it. I gotta let Brian know that. The bias mod, or the bias drift issue, didn't get fixed until like 2003. So unfortunately, I guess his story doesn't really check out either if he bought it in '99, but oh well, I'm not really worried about that. So we'll see. If I notice anything with it, I'll have Mike check it out. He's good with that stuff. 3-channel versus 2, so you're suggesting the Tsl100. Just want to make sure. I'll grab one used. Yeah, they sound similar. The TSL is a little thinner on the drive channel, though. At least the one that I had. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard to tell, man. I've had a bunch of DSLs. They all sound kind of different. Not all of them sound exactly the same. So when you get a good one, they sound really, really good. And that DSL50 that I have sounds really good. That's why I bought it back after I sold it the first time. I got lucky enough to find the guy that I sold it to. But yeah, that TSL100, that's the only one I've ever owned. This is the second TSL100 I've had. So we'll see. We'll see how it sounds. You know, I hope it sounds good. I hope it gives the DSL50 a run for its money. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, the rectifiers are terrible with that, man. I've owned probably 15 different rectifiers over the past 5 years, and they are all over the map, dude. I had a triple rectifier 2-channel for a long time because that was the best sounding one that I had come across. There was something about the orange channel where it just sounded tighter and a little bit more focused than the other ones that I had. But it was a triple, and it drove me nuts because it needed tubes. I really didn't want to pay for new tubes. So I ended up selling it. And I bought a couple 2-channel dual rectifiers hoping to replace it, and they just didn't sound as good. So it is what it is. Yeah, the rectifiers can be all over the place. I have a 3-channel right now. I don't think it sounds very good, but that's my opinion. I actually shot a video of the 3-channel versus the Badlander, but I forgot to record the audio like an idiot, so I have to reshoot that video. It is what it is. Kept the Road King. The Road King is the one I've never had. I've never had a Road King. I've had the Roadster, which is similar, but not nearly as intricate as the Road King. I've had Rev F. I've had a whole bunch of Rev G 2-channels. I've had a whole bunch of 3-channels. I've had 2 multi-watts. The last multi-watt I had, I sold. The dude I sold it to loves it, and the one I have right now sounds phenomenal. It sounds really good. It sounds a lot different than the one that I just sold, and I don't get it. I don't understand why. Roadster. Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. I wanted to like the Roadster because I think they look dope. I like the half tread plate in black and the half, what is it? The Tolex. I think they look really cool. But yeah, this multi-watt is the first rectifier that I've had that I've liked, and I like it a lot. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but not gonna change it. Just gonna keep it. I got it for a killer deal. My buddy Jesse keeps trying to buy it off me, but I'm not really looking to sell it at this point. I was gonna flip it and make a nice bit of money off of it, but sometimes when you get a good one, you just gotta keep it. Especially now that I have the channel and I can use it for a bunch of videos for comparisons. Because one thing that I'm trying to do a little bit differently with my channel is a lot of guys will use an amp once and then it never shows up on their channel again. To me, that seems silly because a lot of people are constantly saying, how does this amp compare to this amp? How does the 5150 compare to the Archon? How does the dual rectifier compare to the Badlander? And nobody's out there really doing like A/B videos like that, and I think it's crazy. And that's why I have started the head-to-head series on my channel in the first place, is because I'm like, dude, I can make tons of videos like this. It's super easy to do, and I think it would help people a lot. Just to be able to see, like, somebody even asked me just to do a dual rectifier versus a 5150 because they can't find a good video of directly comparing the two. And honestly, that's something I feel like I would have benefited from years ago, because I always thought that the dual rectifier was the amp that I wanted when I had a 5150, and it turned out I hated it when I had it. So, just doing videos like that I think will be a good niche for my channel. To be honest, there's just not a lot of other guys doing that. And really exploring amps in depth, not just making a single video and then moving it on its way. Making a bunch of videos with the amp, comparing it to other amps to give you an idea of how they compare. I think that's really useful for people who are out there shopping for a new amp. Okay, here's a video of the 5150 Stealth. That's cool. What does it compare to? Well, nobody compares it to anything else in their videos. So comparing it, having 6 different videos with the Stealth, comparing it to every other popular amp on the market right now, that'll really give you an idea of how it'll stack up against anything else you might be interested in my opinion. That's something I'd love to see. So just as long as they don't start to feel too redundant, you know, it is what it is. My chat disappeared. You mean the VH140C, Mike or Mitch? VH140C is real popular. I've never heard of the VH150 though. Digitech Whammy. I'll have to look into that one, man. I'm not familiar with the Whammy. Yeah, Jared does a similar thing. He just does his in a live stream format. So what he does is real cool too, no doubt. And he puts his in a mix. I'm still trying to figure out how I can queue up a track on my demo videos and just play it and have it be volume matched. It's probably something I have to set up beforehand so I can show you guys how the amp sounds in a mix. But that's something I'm working on. You know, I'm 2.5 months deep in this channel. I'm trying to figure stuff out as I go. So no, man, I've never heard of the VH150. I really haven't. I'll have to look into it. What's the deal on it? Bradley, yes, I played the Fort and Sigil for about 10 minutes yesterday, and I actually think it sounds really good. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I posted a video up on my Instagram and on my Facebook, and afterwards I listened back and I was like, ooh, my mic placement was not good. It was a little too close to the cap, and it came out kind of harsh. So I'll be doing a real video on that one here soon. But I think it sounds great. It sounds tight, punchy. The frequencies seem to be in the right places to my ear. There's no weird frequencies that I can't dial out of it. So yeah, it sounds really good. I'm curious how it sounds when you turn it up though. I've never had a 6V6 amp. All the small tube amps I've ever had have been EL84, and EL84s crap out as soon as you start to push them, so they're not good for band scenarios. Good to know, Mitch. I'll keep an eye out. I'm assuming that's a solid state one too. So yeah, we'll see with the Fort and Sigil. I'm gonna put it up against the MT15. Starting to get all nasally here, and I'm pretty sure that the 5150 LBX that I got will be in sometime this week, so I'll put the Fort and Sigil up against the LBX as well. There is a 5150 LBX Stealth that is brand new at my local guitar center, and one of my friends said he would hook me up, Colin, would hook me up with a 20% off friends and family coupon because he works at Guitar Center. So if I can get that coupon, I might end up picking up that Stealth LBX too. That way I can get it, make some demos, and not, you know, lose my ass on it when I go to turn it around, because I don't really have a use to keep lunchbox heads around. I can't use them live. Not that that really matters at the moment anyways, because nobody's playing, but I tend to only keep amps around that I can use in a live setting. If it doesn't cut it in a live setting, I usually move it along, but that's just me. But yeah, that's that. I'm really excited to go home and unbox this Soldano Avenger. I've never played a Soldano in my own home. I played an Tsl100 at the Pittsburgh Guitar Center, but that was years ago. That was with a crappy guitar, no boost, shitty cab. You know, obviously you can't crank it at a Guitar Center, so I did not get the full effect of that thing by any means. Not expecting to be blown away by the Avenger, but I'm hoping it sounds good. If it doesn't sound as good as I want it to, or it doesn't sound to my liking, it'll be a lot easier to move it along. Dude, here's the thing. I would love to get a Fort and Cali or Meshuggah. The prices are just ridiculous, dude. I just can't pay Fort and prices. I'm sorry, man. Maybe now that I have the channel and I can pick one up and then just turn it around once I'm done with it, instead of buying everything to keep, which is what I usually do. Now I'm kind of already getting more in the mindset of I'm going to buy something just to try it and then move it. But we'll see. I would love to get some of the cool Fort amps on the channel. I've never even had the pleasure of playing a Meshuggah. Never played a Cali. Never played any of them. The Sigil is the first Fort amp I've owned. Sounds good. I know Mike had a hand in the RD45, the Randall RD45 Diablo that I have. I don't like that amp at all. I think he had a hand in the Thrasher. I don't like the Randall Thrasher at all. I had two of them, didn't like either of them. And I had a Randall Satan, and I did not like the Satan 50 whatsoever, man. Couldn't get rid of that thing fast enough. Luckily I made some money on it, but I don't know what cab I'll put it through yet, Mitch. I'll probably try through a couple different cabs before I commit to doing a video with a specific cab. That Mesa Traditional cab that I've been using for pretty much all my videos recently sounds really good. So, I mean, that'll probably be the first one I try through. We'll see. I'm trying to think of any other cab I could put it through. I've got a Wagner straight, Wagner slant, a Friedman straight. I've got an Engel front-loaded V30 cab. I've got a diesel rear-loaded V30 cab. I tend to prefer slant cabs because it's easier to hear while you're playing on stage. Bottom cabs tend to sound fuller, but they're a little bit more directional because the speakers aren't pointed up at you. Even if they have that slight backwards tilt, still they tend to just be hard to hear on stage. So it depends. Depends on what the stage setting is. If I'm playing, you know, my bands are small time. We don't play with real big PA setups or anything like that very often. So we always try to make sure that we bring cabs and amps that we'll be able to hear ourselves through. So that's why I tend to stick to slant cabs. And my Marshall Mode 4 400 cabs are the cabs that I tend to normally go with. So, do I prefer top or bottom cabs? Oh, I just answered that. Curious about the sound of an orange rocker verb with a good boost for the style you play. Me too. I've never had any orange amps, period. Jason had a Thunderbird 200, and that thing was cool, but it almost sounded overly focused. It was weird. It was like all the frequencies were bunched up in the mids somewhere, and all the other frequencies kind of sat behind it. I'm always open to orange stuff, but I've never had my eye on it because I think it's ugly. Sorry if that offends anybody, but I like the black Tolex with the white faceplates, but the orange Tolex just does not do it for me. So, that's all. By the way, how can you guys hear me? Is the road noise real bad, or is it not? I was kind of worried about it being bad. I definitely prefer low action on guitars for a couple of reasons. I like the bright, spanky sound. I like the sound of the strings being right on the frets because it gives you a little bit snappier sound and just makes the guitar sound a little bit quicker, you know, a little faster in the low end, a little brighter in the top end. The other reason is I'm not a good guitarist and I need all the help I can get, so high action doesn't benefit me. For real though, I mean, I'm sloppy with my left hand real bad. I'm sloppy with my right too, but my left hand is bad. You guys probably hear me mess up in every single video. I try not to edit out too much just so you guys can show, or so I can show you guys, you know, I'm just a regular dude. I'm not a great guitarist by any means. I have fun with it, but by no means do I think I'm anybody, you know, who should be giving anybody pointers on playing or anything. I can take some serious pointers, if anything. So low action helps me play a little bit smoother, and I prefer how it sounds. Some guys like a real fat, full sound. I like that bright, spanky sound with percussive bong mutes, so lower action tends to help with that. The worst amp I ever regretted owning and selling. That's a good question. Absolute worst? I've had a couple JCM 800s that were dog shit, that were terrible, but they were old. They needed a cap job. I'm sure they had components failing in them. It's very possible they had old tubes that sounded like crap. You know, whenever I find a JMP under $1,000, I jump on it immediately because I know I can turn it around for $1,200 to $1,400, possibly more depending on the condition. So I've sold 5 or 6 JMP 800s, or 2203s, I guess. But yeah, usually an old JMP that hasn't been tended to in a long time, those are pretty disappointing. I know the diesel VH4S that I have right now, that amp was extremely disappointing to me. A lot of people said that the crank Chadwick sounded like a modded 800. I don't get that vibe from it. I actually thought that it was pretty bad. So I bought that amp having kind of high hopes for it, even though it's a cheaper amp, and I didn't like that at all. And then a lot of the dual rectifiers that I've had just have not been fans of dual rectifiers whatsoever, up until recently. So I try not to say that any amp is terrible, because again, it's all subjective, but I've had some amps that sounded pretty bad to my ears for sure. Also, the Egnator Vengeance, I've had 3 of those. I want to like them. I don't. They're a lot like the Randall, where it's like the higher frequencies that I like, that I'm used to from a PV or a Marshall, aren't there. And no matter what I do, I can't get them there. So that amp was disappointing for that reason. Wasn't terrible, but just not my thing. True, doesn't need one. That's your personal taste, man, on the 5153 Stealth. I don't know. The red channels are so compressed and gained out already that they actually sometimes tend to sound a little worse with a boost, depending. The red channel on the Stealth seems to be the most restrained as far as that stuff goes, but it's still crazy over the top. Yeah, that comes down to the individual person, man. It's tough to say. Whenever somebody says doesn't need a boost, you're the person that decides that, not, you know, for yourself, not anybody on the internet, anybody you talk to. You got to be the one that makes that choice. It's pretty tight on the red channel without a boost, but so are the other EVH 5150, all of them. I could get by on the red channel on the EVH stuff without a boost, but I vastly prefer the blue channel with a boost. Blue channel's more open, it's not as tight, but it takes a boost very well, and I think that that's where the best tones of those amps come out of, for sure. I've played for years, I'm just a hack with 0 lessons. I just joined John Brown's riff hard, and after a few days down. Interesting. I'll have to check that out, Alan. I'm interested. I didn't know that it was actually like a program or something, but I'll take a look at that. I'd love to get better, especially because you know, doing the YouTube videos now, I'd like to be a cleaner player so I can demo the amp better and know how to play more than what I know how to play. I know how to play very little, and it's mostly just riffs that I make up or riffs for Bushido Code or some of my other bands. So being able to sprinkle some other stuff in there would be a huge help. Probably keep you guys from getting tired of hearing the same shit every time too. Yeah, everybody's got their own opinion, man. I can tell you my opinion, but I'm gonna tell you to take it with a grain of salt, you know. What works for me might not work for you. MXR micro amp on red, working good for the game, 11 o'clock on the Stealth. Okay. Yeah, if that works good for you, Luke, that's great, man. Jason just tried a micro amp in front of his Archon the other night at practice, and I did not like the way that sounded as a boost at all. I know it's just supposed to be like a clean level boost, but it just got too fat for me. But I guess that would probably work a little bit better on the red channel now that I think of it. So I could see that working. Bradley, I haven't played the Triple Crown. I saw your question. I think you left me a question on the FAQ. I'll answer that next week. I haven't played one. I would love to. They're just tough to find at a decent price, especially now. In the past like 6 to 8 months, all the prices on used gear has just skyrocketed. It's crazy. I used to be able to buy rectifiers all day for $800. Now you can't find them for under $1,000. Most of them are $1,100, $1,200. So price of gear these days, it's just tough to justify to me when I was so used to paying such lower prices. I really got to work hard to find a deal for things to be worth it for me to pick up. So the Triple Crown's on that list for sure. Fret wraps, I'll have to look into those. Not familiar with them. Find it hard to find time with work and home. Yeah, man. Truthfully, that's my issue too. And in my case, I'm such a gear nerd, and I'm kind of glad that I started the channel because it's got me more focused on individual things instead of just being ADD with gear all the time. I would start to play, and then I would get distracted and be like, oh, I wonder how this amp sounds. Oh, I wonder how this guitar sounds. I wonder how this boost sounds with this guitar. And instead of actually focusing on playing, I was focusing on switching gear every 5 minutes, and I just never made any progress. So, you know, I'm willing to admit that I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to getting better at guitar over, you know, just being more concerned with messing around with gear than I am with actually playing and becoming a better player. So, but yeah, for most people, it's hard to find the time, especially when you're not going to annoy somebody else, you know what I mean? Oh, pre-Gibson, yeah. I'm so glad. I mean, seems like that joke has died. I hope it stays dead. I'm sure there will always be the people who bring that up constantly. But yeah, it is what it is. People are fickle, man. People are fickle. I'm hoping they stay fickle in this case. I haven't played any newer Gibsons, Bradley, so I can't comment on that. I'm sure it depends on where you're playing them too. Like if they're on a Guitar Center wall, they're probably not going to be set up right. They're probably not going to be tended to. A lot of people base their judgments of a guitar when they pull it off a Guitar Center wall. I'm not saying this is you. I'm just saying I've noticed in general. I've just stopped really trying to play guitars at Guitar Center for the most part because they're always set up terribly. They're always in need of adjustments. They're always in need of intonation. The strings are old. But you know, it is what it is. It's that place is there for people to try stuff out. But at the same time, it because they don't take care of their stuff, it almost shoots them in the foot. But take care, Mitch. Thanks for hanging out. Club Fingers? Is that my nickname? Club Fingers? Yeah, pretty much. I got sausage fingers. Plus my pinky's all fucked up because I broke it a bunch of times when I was a kid. That makes it hard. Bushido Code has this one song where we do a bar chord with our pinky, and I've got a big lump in my pinky, and I always end up hitting the bottom strings. No matter how hard I try not to, I can't, because that's just how my pinky lays flat. So we actually had to tape a couple of my strings off because we were getting too much string noise on that part. That was frustrating because I'm like, oh man, for once I can't chalk it up to being a bad player. It's just I got a lump in my pinky that I can't get past. So, but then again, there are people who have done a lot more with a guitar with 2 fingers than I could ever do with 4. So maybe I am still just making excuses. Yeah, I love to play guitar. I really wish I was better. I wish I knew how to play more. I wish I had the time to invest in it. I don't get it. Whatever. I'm good, man. I got thick skin. It's hard to get under my skin. I make fun of myself more than anybody else, so I can laugh at stuff. Not a big deal. But yeah, I love playing guitar. I wish I could set more time aside. Now that I'm doing the YouTube stuff, I've actually started going to bed an hour earlier every night so I can wake up an hour earlier to try and edit my videos so I don't have to do it when I get home from work at night. Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, I'm at work 8 hours a day, come home, you got to tend to your personal relationships, you know what I mean? I got to find balance for my girlfriend. My dogs mean a lot to me, so I got to find balance for them. I'm going to have kids sometime in the near future, so that's going to complicate things even more. So it is what it is. The oldest amp that can do modern metal depends on your setup, man. You probably make an 800 do modern metal if you have the right boost, you know? Yeah. It all depends. I've been able to get more out of a 800 or a 2203 recently with some of the pedals that have come on the market than I ever thought that I would. So yeah, I think it really just depends on how you set the amp up, what you use to tweak it. I don't know. It's a tough one. I know the Mesa Marks are pretty old. I think the earlier ones, you know, could probably do that stuff. excuse me, I keep burping. I don't know why. But yeah, I'd probably say a JMP or a Mesa Mark. I've never really played anything older than that because that's kind of where the cutoff is. I've had a lot of super leads, Marshall super leads, but I don't really think they're capable of it without modification. There's just too much tube compression there, and it doesn't allow for a really articulate feel when you have the amp turned up, and you can't get a lot of gain out of it unless you have it turned up because you're clipping the phase inverter and clipping the power section to get most of your gain out of those amps. So that would be my answer: 2203 or a Mesa Mark series. The difference between the Herbert Mark II and Mark III, other than visually, no. I don't know what tweaks they made to the circuit on those. I know everybody who's played a Mark III seems to really enjoy them. They say that they're the best iteration, but I've only played Mark Is. I had a Mark I, and Derek Farici had a Mark I, and so those are the only ones that I've ever gotten to play in person. So I can't even comment on the differences between Mark I and II. Giving up caring about music theory. Yeah, I'm the same, man. It's not that I don't find it important. I think it's extremely important, but at the same time, I just don't have the patience or the desire to dive into it at the moment. So, like you said, I'd like to clean up my technique and start learning more. I really would just like to learn more music in general. Learning to play songs is always a really good way to show you new things, show you how to do new things that you didn't know before. So maybe technically it's not the best way to progress as a player, but certainly doesn't hurt. That's for sure. I'm like 15 minutes from home, and keeps popping into my head that I got a Soldano Avenger on my porch, man. I'm excited for that. I'll post a picture in the community tab once I get it unboxed. Take a look at it. I'm pretty excited. I also posted in a couple groups about a Tsl100 Nitro yesterday morning. I'm like, I want to buy one for around $1,000, and people were commenting, and they weren't being rude, but they were just like, yeah, good luck finding a Tsl100 Nitro for $1,000. I bought a couple for, you know, that price or less, but it's not easy to do, we'll say that. So anyways, one of the moderators in one of the groups ended up finding one out in the Bay Area for $1,100. I messaged the guy, came to an agreement at $1,000, and I'll cover the shipping. Boom, done. Just sometimes it works out, guys. The lunchbox, the EVH 5150 LBX, I made a post about that a few days ago. If anybody has one to let go for a reasonable price, let me know. I posted that in a couple groups. Guess what? Somebody hit me up, and he's like, hey, I'm looking to sell mine. This price? Okay, yep, that's what I was looking to pay. And boom, got it. So the 2 times I've tried it, people have kind of given me a hard time about basically not wanting to offer enough for an amp. But man, there's people out there who just want to get rid of stuff, and they're not concerned with getting top dollar for it, man. So for me, I just want to be able to get it, not lose on it, so I can use it on the channel at this point, and then send it along to the next person. Same with the Fort and Sigil. Got a good deal on the Fort and Sigil thanks to Jason Quick. He's one of my early subscribers. Oh, we're live again. Okay. Yeah, anyways, Jason Quick gave me a good deal on that Fort and Sigil, and I was going to turn it around, but it sounds really good, so we'll see. I may or may not end up selling it. Am I interested in the Kemper making profiles of all the amps? I really should. I should jump on the Kemper profiling game. I've also thought about getting into reamping, but I work an 8 to 5 job. I do my YouTube demos on my break. My girlfriend has weekends off with me, and all my amps are at home, so I just don't think reamping is in the picture for me right now. But the Kemper thing, I could probably make and sell some Kemper packs or something like that, just as a little way to generate a little extra income for the channel. Anything I make off gear at this point is going to go to the channel, truthfully. So if people get mad at me for trying to make a little bit of money here and there, oh well, You know, I'm trying to make some money so I can get cool amps on the channel. I eventually would like to do some giveaways and stuff once the channel gets to the point where it's big enough that I can. We'll see. I totally just missed my exit because I was too busy talking to you guys. Oh well. But yeah, we'll see, man. The Kemper thing really does me. It really does. I would love to get in on that. There's a learning curve. I have an AX8, AXFX AX8, and I'm just gonna sell it because I originally wanted to buy it for recording, but I have a 2-notes captor, so I might as well use the real amps with cap sims as opposed to having the AX8. It doesn't really serve any purpose for me at this point, so I'm gonna be putting that up on my reverb store. But I really just need to get into the digital stuff and get over my, you know, not necessarily fear of it, but I got to get the learning curve out of the way. I just don't. I'm pretty tech savvy, so I imagine it won't be too hard. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't really want to sink the time into it right now. I'd rather mess around with real amps. Yeah, the neural stuff looks cool too, man. The neural stuff looks real cool. Honestly, I think I just watched a video on it this morning and I was impressed with it. I mean, they sound great. There's no doubt about it. They sound great. So we'll see. Maybe something I'll grab in the future. I don't know. It all depends on if I do anything more with recording than just do the channel. You know what I mean? If I'm not doing anything recording and I'm just doing stuff with the channel, it doesn't really make sense. There's a lot of guys that are probably better than me with the digital stuff that, you know, that's their channel. That's their niche. Getting tired here and talking a lot. So I'll leave that to them. You know what I mean? I feel like the strength of my channel is showing you guys the real amps that I have. So I'll probably stick to that for a while. Make neural captures. Yeah, maybe. See, I don't even know about that. I know some of those models or some of those modelers can do captures. I got to look into it. I'm not super familiar with how that works. Probably not a bad idea though. You're probably right. Probably not a bad idea at all. We'll see. Definitely I'm interested in. There's a few real amps I want to get out of the way first though. I want to get an Tsl100 in here. I'm supposed to be getting a Dover DA50 off of somebody in a couple weeks once a different amp comes in for them. The Rev stuff, would love to get that Rev Mark III from Rev. They offered to send me one, like I said earlier. I'm hoping that comes to fruition. That'd be so dope. Yo, what's up, dude? What's going on, man? You coming in at the tail end of the stream? Sorry, man. But yeah, Rev is supposed to send me a Mark III generator, 100p, I think. I got to reach back out to Derek on that and see what the deal is. But that would be super cool. I'll definitely shoot it out against a bunch of amps. KSR is another one that I really want to get on the channel. So I would love, if you guys see a good deal on a KSR amp, let me know. Seriously, shoot me an email. I think I have my email up on my YouTube page. I have got a Reverb page. I've got my Facebook page. You guys are free to reach out to me on Facebook. I don't mind that at all. Especially if you find a good deal on a KSR or something like that, hit me up because I'm looking. Yeah, that's another thing I was going to ask you guys about. Patreon. I don't want to just put a Patreon up and collect money from you guys. I want to be able to offer something for it because I think you guys should get something for your money other than just me taking your money and dumping it into gear. Truth, I'm just being 100% honest. So you guys need to tell me what you would want to see in a Patreon. What I can offer you guys for your hard-earned money, because money's not easy to come by, and I don't expect anybody to give me money for nothing, and I hope you guys wouldn't either. You know what I mean? So it all depends. I almost feel odd asking, you know, like creating a Patreon with so few followers. 1,200 subs is a lot to me, but in the world of YouTube, it's not very much. So I almost thought about waiting until the channel grows a little bit more to start something like that. But again, you guys tell me. If you guys feel comfortable with something like that and you think that there's stuff I can offer you, I'd absolutely be down for something like that. I also thought about making merch, but again, so few followers, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you guys have dibs anyways, to be truthful. Hit me up directly. If you see something on one of my reverb, you know, once I finally get the reverb stuff going, if you guys see something on there, hit me up directly, and I'd be glad to sell it to you directly and give you dibs. And that way you don't have to worry about tax. That way you don't have to worry about PayPal fees and all that stuff, you know what I mean? I want to hook you guys up. Yeah, giveaways in the Patreon would probably be a good idea too, huh? I could probably do something like that. Whatever I buy with the Patreon money ends up being a giveaway. Because I do want to give back to you guys. I really do. I think that would be cool if I do pedals and stuff like that. Give them away to Patreon members via a raffle or something like that. Whenever I get something, give it to you guys. Yeah, good ideas. Maybe I'll put that on a FAQ video next week. Mention it and see what kind of response I get. If enough people want me to do a Patreon, then I'll do it by all means, trust me. Like I said, whatever I can do to show you guys the stuff that you want to see, I'm all for it. All for it. So I feel goofy taking people's money, but at the same time, if it helps me get the stuff on the channel that you guys want to see, it makes sense. And if I can eventually give it back to you guys, it makes even more sense. So Patreon's probably a good idea. Patreon non-meetup? Yeah, I feel goofy about that, man. I don't want you guys to pay money to meet me. I'm more than happy to talk to you guys, you know what I mean? That's just my personality. I don't know. I'm nobody special. We're all there for the same reason, you know what I mean? I'm just a guy that figured out how to run a camera and make some videos. So I'm nobody as far as I'm concerned. So it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shooting your idea down. I'm just saying I don't think I'd feel right making people pay to meet up with me. I'd rather just say, hey, I'm going to be here at this time. Any of my followers who want to hang out, please come hang out with me. I'd be honored to hang out with you guys. Seriously. Be my honor. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, man. I think that's a good idea. My honest reviews are giving back to you. Yeah, good. That's what I want, man. That is 100% why I started the channel. I love helping people. And, you know, I've not even lying. I probably had 30 or 40 people message me since I started the channel, just asking for advice on gear. And I'm more than happy to help you guys. That's what the videos are for, you know what I mean? I love helping people out with their rigs, helping people out picking gear. So I'm all about it, 100% about it. Trying to think of anything else. That you got to pay me for, man. No, I'm just kidding. Merch. Would you guys be interested in merch? I thought of a couple merch designs that I thought might be cool. You know, something with like a bunch of amps on it that just says like, I like gear, and then a wall of amps behind it. I think that'd be cool. I thought about doing a shirt with the MXR M77 on it with the logos taken off, of course, so I don't get copyright infringement crap. This says just boost it. Those may be lame to you guys. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, boost life, something, exactly, something like that. I was thinking about making t-shirts and maybe take a pre-order through an online store and seeing if enough people that wanted to order them, I could get them out there. Yeah, merch I think would be cool, because at least you guys get something for your money then too. You get, you know, a shirt, or I thought about doing like a coffee mug. Anything else you guys can think of, let me know. I would love to do stuff like that, because I like the idea of somebody getting something for their money. I like the idea of people wearing gear related t-shirts, because, you know, that's always a conversation starter. If you see a gearhead out in public, like, I've seen a couple people with like PV Colt shirts out in public, and it's you're just like, oh, that dude's a gearhead. Let's talk. You know what I mean? So I like stuff like that. Picks? Like, what kind of picks are you talking about, bro? You got to be more specific than that. I hope you mean guitar picks. Yeah, guitar picks would be cool. I thought truck driver Sean actually gave me one of his, and he said that there's a place that'll print them, and I have my little logo that I put on all my videos, a KB logo. So if you guys want KB picks, I could get a whole bunch of those in and maybe sell them to you guys by the dozen. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant, man. I'm just busting balls. So yeah, if you guys want, like, if you guys think picks with my logo would be cool on them, could definitely do that. Do a few different sizes. Get a little store going for those. Yeah, anything like that I think is cool. Stickers, do you guys think stickers would be cool? I could do stickers with my logo, or stickers with the Just Boost It thing on it, you know, or Boost Life, or whatever we end up coming up with. I may try to get a couple designs done and then run them by you guys and see what you like the most. I'll create the poll on the community tab, see what designs you guys are into, and then we can go from there. But I like the idea of merch just because it gives me something to sell you guys, and I make a little money that I can put back towards the channel. You guys get a piece of merch, you guys get something for your money, and it supports me in the process. So that's a win-win type thing. No, I haven't tried it yet, man, but mine's supposed to be shipping out today. Jordan actually messaged me on Friday and said, hey, your Direwolf will be on the mail on Sunday, in the mail on Sunday. So I should have it sometime this week. Gonna play with it a little bit. I'll stick it on the boost board before I actually do a video on it, get a feel for it, and then I'll do a full video on it. But I haven't tried it yet. Hoping to try it soon, hoping I love it. It's gonna be hard to dethrone the Deadwell Duality DX pedal because that thing is a game changer for me. But, you know, I am not opposed to trying anything and seeing if it can dethrone my favorite boosts, man. I love that. Get a Facebook group for the channel going. It'll be a community hub. We can all... Yeah, someone else mentioned that. Maybe I should. Maybe I should create... I don't want to create a fan page. I want to create a group. If I create a group for my YouTube channel, would you guys like that? I don't want, like, again, the fan page, I feel like you don't see posts as much as you do if it's a group page. Alan, yes, okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't reply to you, man. Yeah, no, I think that's probably a good idea. My girlfriend has already said, she's like, why are people friend requesting me that I don't know? And I'm like, they're probably from the YouTube channel. They've been requesting me and just requesting you by default. So I said, feel free to decline them. But I've been just accepting everybody, and people have been sending me messages. Like I said, I'm a pretty friendly guy. You know, I try to reply to everybody. I can only reply to so many people. So once it gets to a certain point, you know, the group might be the best idea, so that way I can just address people as a group as opposed to addressing people individually. But I really like the individual one-on-one that I get to have with you guys, so there's that. Jake, I will have to look into a Discord group. I don't know how to do that, truthfully. I'm not sure how that works, so I'll have to research that a little bit and see if it's something that's worth putting together. But yeah, maybe today, maybe I'll put up a Facebook group and share it around. I feel goofy. It won't just be my name. Maybe it'll be like, you know, Kyle Bull Gear Hoarders group or something like that. We'll see. You guys let me know what a cool name would be. It doesn't have to have my name in it at all, but it would kind of make sense just so people know that it's my YouTube page group. It feels goofy making a group just off of myself. As you guys can tell, I'm not used to this shit. I don't think that I'm somebody, just so you know. I don't think that I'm anybody, so it feels weird making groups with my name on it, but I get the point of it. So if you guys think that's beneficial, let me know. Yeah, it's a good idea. Good idea, Alan. I'll look into it a little later today. I'll look into the Discord group thing too. Again, I'm not sure how that works, but YouTube's good for showing me how things work, so maybe I'll look that up. I'm actually pulling into onto my street now. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. It was good chatting with everybody. I'm going to unbox my Soldano Avenger, post some pictures of that, probably walk my dogs, and then I might take a nap because I'm tired. It's been a long day already. But I'm going to try to get my PV Invective demo up tonight, guys. I don't know if it'll happen. It might be tomorrow morning before work that I get it done. We'll see. But yeah, take care, guys. Thanks for hanging out again. It was a pleasure. We'll talk to you guys soon.